Let's get this show on the road. Alright. Now the question is, are we going to be able to run a Switch 1 game? I'm going to do this one because I put it in my other Nintendo Switch 2, which is over there on the couch. And it didn't require a software update to run. I can confirm that that it does run before I stick it in here, just so there's no questions on if I didn't update or anything like that. Other than that, I'm also gonna try sticking this micro SD card in the Nintendo Switch, see what it does. And on top of that, I might even stick in a standard micro SD card that I got in here, not an Express, in the system, and see what the system does in regards to that too. Just a little test to see what's going on when it comes to some of these things. I know a lot of people have been asking questions on forums and everything like that online, so let's see. Now I know I need to open up this box, get the Nintendo Switch out. This is not going to be a full unboxing really, it's just going to be a quick little get the device out and get the show moving along. Got the Nintendo Switch 2 here, got the Joy-Cons. Pull those bad boys out, they feel so good. So good. Stick them there. This one out the bag. Stick it there too. Put these aside. Got the actual Nintendo Switch 2 here. Put that out the box. We don't really need this anymore. Probably stick this aside. Close up this box real quick. Now I'm curious, we're going to set up this Nintendo Switch without the day one update. So we're not going to be connecting to the internet for the most part. That's the bottom there, so this is where I want to open it up. Alright. She's clean. She's new. Looks good. As soon as you pull it out, you get a little bit of dust on the damn thing. Alright. Now let's see. Get these Joy-Cons attached. Always feels satisfying attaching Joy-Cons to this thing. Just clicking them right in. We're so lucky to Switch 2 in Brazil is 4K. Holy cow. That's crazy. Yeah, the Switch still pretty expensive though, that's for sure. Definitely not a cheap device. Could have bought another Steam Deck for that price, but I already got two of those, the OLED and the AMOLED and the regular Steam Deck there. Alright, set this bad boy up. Accept the end user license, internet settings, don't set up. Let's just set up the time. And the date, huh? Look at the date that it's given. 6/18. Definitely not 6/18. 7. And the time is 10:04 right now. January, February, March, April, May, June. January, January, February, March, April, May, June. Oh shoot, 6th. Go back. 6th. January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, it's June. There we go. 6, 7. And the time has moved by a minute. There we go. No system transfer. So the main question is, with no day one patch set up, is it going to run a Switch game? Are we going to be able to see the micro SD card express? Are we going to... There's another question. People want to know if you can get the micro SD card, a regular one, a standard, not an express, to get it to trigger the actual update for compatibility with the micro SD card running EXFAT. Let's see. Using stands, hold and release. They want me to actually do it before I can progress. Joy-Con removed. They want me to do both? Really? Alright. There. Later. Skip. Yes. Let's add a user. Add without signing in. It's just temporary for now. Obviously, I'll be signing into a user account later. But this switch here is going to be preserved on the lowest firmware possible. Alright. Skip. Skip. Home button. Moment of truth, huh? This is how the Switch should turn on every time. Not necessarily that screen, but the way these pop up. I like how the icons just kind of roll up in there. That's sick. On the Switch 2, the controllers, the way they detach really easy actually. You just push this button here and it automatically pushes the Joy-Con out from the magnet with this by using that little guy right there. It's pretty simple for the most part. I've seen someone try to detach it by pulling it out, like ripping at the thing, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not doing damage to my Switch, and I've already seen someone detach it doing it like that. Alright. So I guess just to confirm, system software currently on 19.0. 19.0. Alright. So, how do I want to do this first? I know what I'm going to do. Give me 1 second. So to confirm that this game does run on the Nintendo Switch 2 with no software update needed on the actual game itself, not the system. Not a system update, I'm talking software update. Already got a game in there. What game do we got? Zelda. Stick that aside for now. Alright, stick that game in. Kirby's recognized. We'll confirm the software. Software update. Software information. Oh no, it's there at the top anyways. 1.0. So you don't need to update this game at all to run on the Switch 2. We're going to boot that up. Yes, this Switch has been updated. And to confirm that real quick. 20.1.1. Not rich, that's for sure. Just responsible with my money. I usually don't waste it on frivolous things. Some people might say that this was a frivolous buy, but well, actually, I know someone specifically who rants on me a bit, gets on my case about grabbing 2 of these. Would you like to connect online? Sure. Blah blah blah. Connect. And obviously, like this game, it's running for the most part, as we can see here. Right, so updated Nintendo Switch 2 game's running. So let's try running this game on a non-updated Nintendo Switch. And see if the game starts up, because a lot of people are questioning if you can even run a Switch 1 game on the Switch 2 without updating with the day 1 update. I haven't tested this yet, so this is getting tested in real time right now. Actually, I want to do one thing real quick. Just something I like to do. I don't know. Software auto update. There we go. Okay. Hey! Yeah. Let me bring that closer. Yeah, look at that, eh? Please connect to the internet and update your system. It will not start the game. So that confirms that. So we know you can't run a Switch 1 game on the Nintendo Switch 2 without the day 1 update. As people say, that enables compatibility with them, and the fact that the Switch 2 can emulate Switch 1 games. Now, I got the standard micro SD card here, not the Express. I'm gonna stick that in the system now. See where I'm putting that in. Yeah, right there. Where do I need to slide that in? It's on the other side. My bad. So stick it in over here. A little awkward the way I'm doing it. There, I got it in. Hey! Check whether the inserted micro SD card can be used. No. So it won't even, on the other Switch, if I stick this in, the one that's updated, it's a little different actually. So I have a feeling, just based on that, come on, that the Express might not work unless you're updated like it's been claimed. But at least we're getting the information right now in the flesh, live, so people aren't questioning certain things so much. Let's see. See what happens when you put the Express in? You get a big old message telling you to put an Express. You can back out of this if you push the home button. I know that for a fact. I've tried it. Now the reason why I wanted to put a standard SD card in the second Switch is to show that it doesn't initialize the update to enable micro SD card support under exFAT Just doesn't happen. It gives you that screen. You either back out, no matter what I've done. And even on top of that, because the claim for being able to update for micro SD card support is that if you stick this non-express card in another switch, like a switch 1, transfer photo onto it. Hold on a second. Knocking stuff over up there. Shut this off before I stick it in. The claim is that if you at least have it set up with a standard Nintendo Switch and then stick it into the Switch 2 with a photo on it or a photo not on it, at least with the folder system that's enabled when you stick it in a Switch 1, that you'll be able to initialize that SD card screen, but you can't because I've tried it. So I'm going to stick it in here, which is seems like a pain in the ass sometimes on the OLED. This dude is richer than Elon. Yeah, that's it. Nah, Elon's my buddy. This guy just gives me cash. Photos. Yeah, so I took a screenshot on this micro SD card right here. And that is on the micro SD card itself. Just to confirm that. Data management. And it's screenshots and videos. Save location is micro SD card. And you can see that there's one screenshot on the micro SD card. So that's the one we were just looking at. So some people think or have been saying that they've been able to force. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, eh? Took it out before I turn it off the system. Ah, well, too late now. I'll stick the other one back in there now anyways. So the claim is that you can force the micro SD card update on a Switch 2 if you put it into Switch 1 and then stuck it into the Nintendo Switch 2 with the file system from the Switch 1, but as you can see, that does not happen. It doesn't want it. If you stick it in a non-updated Switch 2, you end up with this message to update that bad boy, which I'm not doing this minute. I'm going to take that back out. Alright. And Kirby just won't run without the update. Pain in the ass, huh? It's like the system's on lockdown before you update it. Nintendo didn't want people to leak gameplay footage on the Switch 2. Alright. The Express, I already cut this bad boy open. Yeah, I think Nintendo takes the time to glance at certain videos like this just to see what people are doing, experimentations, and they knew shit like this was gonna go down. So when it comes to not updating and keeping the system in pristine, where's that slot? There it is. So I'm gonna stick the Express in here, and the Express is gonna force it to want to update too. Yeah. Now when it comes to getting that update message on the updated Switch, I wasn't able to get an update message whatsoever with a standard micro SD card. So now the question is, does Mr. Homebrew leave his backup Switch on the old software, or do I update it? I'm debating on updating it. This way I can enable features on it on this one here, which is only on 19.0. I'm thinking about updating it to enable micro SD card support and to enable Switch 1 game support. But I don't know, I'm on the fence. I can't decide. Even if I do update this Switch to the day one, I'm going to be leaving it on that version, and I'm not going to update past that. I'm going to leave it there for any exploits that might be found. So some people say to leave it on 19.0 and not even update past that, but like I said, on the fence, gotta decide. Sad era to be a Nintendo fan. Can't own your games or console. You need to do what Nintendo tells you. See, the big thing, I think a lot of people... Looks dumb putting a 2 at the end. I'm going to be honest. I'm not getting Switch 2 for a very long time. Switch 1 was my last gaming console I bought. I have lost interest. I'm just into retro and emulation nowadays, and that's the reason why a lot of people aren't actually updating to the Switch 2, is because with the Steam Deck, I don't know, it's questionable. You know what I mean? You got so much freedom on the Steam Deck, and I still play on my Steam Deck. Actually, yesterday I left the house, and instead of bringing the Switch with me, because I don't got necessary, I got more games on it now. On the one up here, I got a lot more games on it. Still downloading stuff onto it, but I went to leave the house and I'm like, you know what, I'm bringing my Steam Deck just because I know the battery life on that thing. I got a ton of games, like hundreds of games in my Steam collection, so you can't go wrong with that. And the best part about Steam is you get some really good sales on Steam, no question about it. Yeah, the Steam Deck is nice. I got it pretty... I customized it. Where's my Steam Deck? Where is my Steam Deck? Oh, it's upstairs. I even installed... I don't got my Steam Deck right this second. I have to go upstairs and grab it, which I don't feel like doing, but I got my Legion Go, and I'm gonna do more of a comparison between the Switch, probably the Switch OLED, the Switch 2, Steam Deck, and like the Legion Go is a nice device too. You really can't go wrong with the Legion Go or the Steam Deck. Like the screen on this in comparison to a Switch, look at that. That's crazy. Like the Legion Go's got a huge screen. Crazy. This thing's filled with games too. Like the amount of games. What is this? Hell Slave. I got that for free. That was on for free recently. But Bully's a good game. I like playing that. I've almost beaten that. I started Into the Pit, Five Nights at Freddy's, just a couple of days ago. Finally, it's been sitting in my library forever. The new Lords of the Fallen I might try out eventually. Yeah, there's just Mini Royale. I tried that. It's an alright game. Yeah, the Switch 2 does have a lot of competition. And just imagine when the Steam Deck 2 comes out. Which, Valve better release a Steam Deck 2, because if they don't... Ay. Oh, it looks like now that I turned on my Legion Go, there's nothing but updates. Game updates. And this thing's pretty fast. See? You get accustomed to Nintendo's button layout, and you start pushing the wrong buttons on your Legion Go. Another update for this. This is running straight up SteamOS too. So, another update there. Alright, back to the Switch 2 here. Guess I'll let my Legion Go do its update thing over here. Put it back on this case. Yeah, I was debating on if I was gonna do the software update on the Switch here, the day one update. I'm still questioning it. I don't know if I want. I was gonna do it on the live stream here. Then I was gonna test out the theory about the micro SD card express and the actual old micro SD card on the updated software. But I don't think I want to do that. I'm gonna leave the firmware where it is for now. I'm still gonna think it over. Shit. Yeah. It's a big question. I just don't know. A lot of people have told me to leave it where it is. On the Legion Go, I'm running SteamOS. Yeah, I was running Bazite, but I decided to run straight up SteamOS. Once that got released, there's a lot of drivers already added onto SteamOS when it comes to the Legion Go. So I figured it was worth it. And with Bazite, I ended up having an issue where my boot option for Bazite itself had disappeared, and to re-enable it and add the boot option back was a bit of a hassle. I did some research. I couldn't really find any definitive answers. I went onto the GitHub page. I was checking other people's conversations with their issues and everything. And most people just reinstalled Bazite. And I was like, you know what? If I'm just going to reinstall it, I'm going to leave SteamOS on it. Listen to these guys. I'm going to regret it later. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it for now. But the clock is ticking, right? Nintendo could release a new update anytime now. 19.0. She's a virgin Switch. She has not been touched by the ninjas as of yet. Yeah, wait a month, see what will happen. Well, that's the thing, right? But the big thing is if you don't at least update it and get it to the point where it can run Switch 1 games and accept a micro SD card, then you're kind of in limbo in my point of view, because eventually there's going to be an update for it. And I don't know. Are you going to be able to update to the day one update, or are you going to be forced to update straight to the latest update at the time when you want to go about things? And I think it'll force me to update to the latest update at that point, which will skip the day one update. So, I don't know. I've talked to a lot of people. Yeah, that's true. That is the big thing. That's what I was saying too. Is what's the benefit of being on 19.0 if you can't use a micro SD card and actually transfer data onto it? And in between, you could use it with games. Yeah, that's the main thing that's got me thinking maybe I should just update it. So this way I got micro SD card support. I can actually use it. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. You know what? In the next live stream I'm gonna come back on later on today actually, for the most part. And I'm gonna do an update on the Switch 2, most likely on this one here. I got an air show to go see today, so I'm going to see that. I'm going to watch some jets fly around. Let's see. Just looking at something real quick. Yeah, that's not too bad right there. Yeah, the Switch 2, it's got a nice feeling to it when it comes to holding it. It's very ergonomic. That's for sure. Not quite, but I gotta say the Steam Deck's probably the most ergonomic over this. You know, being so thin, it's nice, but the Steam Deck, the way it feels in your hands, like when you just grip it, it's the best. All right. double check something. Software update, auto update is off. Good. You know what I want to do on this one actually? I like having my battery percentage up. Just looking at the icons is not enough. Battery percentage. This thing needs charged. Metroid Prime 4 has been confirmed on the Switch 1. Hey, that's good news. A lot of people aren't going to miss out for sure. Obviously, you know, you're not going to have the frame rate or maybe the full out graphics that you're going to get on Switch 2, but still, at least people have the option that don't feel like updating at this point in time and buying the new Switch 2. I'm going to put my OLED back in the dock up top. Fix that. Whoa. Ha! What's going on here? I forgot. It's connected to my monitor back here. Let's switch inputs real quick. Source. I put my OLED switch back into the dock and my monitor switch sources. There, that's better. Alright, so like I said, I got a busy day today, so this isn't going to be a long live stream for the most part. I just wanted to do a couple of tests when it came to the updated day 1 patch system and the one that comes straight out the box. I'm going to keep this one off the Wi-Fi for now. I'm going to keep it the way it is, probably put it on the charger, let her charge up to 100% for the first time since I got it. Prime 4 on Switch 1 will be 900p and 60 FPS. It says on the Nintendo website. Well, if Nintendo confirms it, I'll have to check that out myself just to see what they're saying. You know what? The one thing I think most people aren't talking about, and I think people should be talking about, that pisses me off, and I'm probably going to talk about... You know what? I'm grabbing my other Switch for a second. Okay, because obviously, in a household like mine, I have multiple Nintendo Switches, okay? So... the thing that pisses me off is virtual game cards. I don't like them. Because if I want to add a game because I have another system already linked up, I have my Switch 2 is already linked up with another Nintendo Switch in the house. The other one I had on my last stream with the multicolored Joy-Cons with the red and blue. Now if I try to link a game, here I'll just try Cuphead, load on the system. When I try to do that, it's going to tell me I can't because I already have 2 other Nintendo Switches linked together. So it won't automatically do it right here. This is something I'm going to go over. You know what? Later on tonight, I'm going to be going over this. This virtual card, I don't like it. It seems like a bigger lockdown than we ever had before when it comes to playing multiple games on multiple Nintendo Switches. Before you can have the same game installed on 3, 4 Nintendo Switches, and if you went to run one of them, it would check online, you would verify that you're not playing it on another system, and it would launch the game. And then I could do it on, say, this one, I could just launch the game on older software, firmware, and then I could launch it on a third one, not at the same time, but at different times. I think you could launch them at the same time if you were offline on one of the systems before you launch it or whatever. But the key thing was you were able to have it installed on multiple systems, 3, 4 of them, launch a game, it would check online, game could run, you'd be good to go. But now with this virtual card, you can't have that same game on the same account on, say, 3 or 4 Nintendo Switches and just click it, have it check online if the game can run, because the virtual card's not going to be in there. So like I said, for Cuphead on here, I do have it installed. It's already installed on this thing. But I got to do virtual card, load on system. Oh, you already have 2 other systems linked under this profile, blah, blah, blah. If you want to do it, you got to link with the, between this system and one of these 2 systems. And then these 2 systems aren't linked together. Like, I don't want that hassle. But I'm going to be going through all that. I want to show how those virtual cards work when it comes to 3 or 4 Nintendo Switches. I thought it was good because if you didn't play it, you can just let someone else play it. Yeah, you can. You can lend it out, but I even did that, and it's only for 14 days, which I'm sure most people are well aware of, but it's a pain in the ass. And then you have to be, like, near the other Switch, and you got to do it like that. But the thing I did see is, like, you can't even have the virtual card on 2 systems. It steals it from the other one and then sticks it on this one, and then it would... If you want it on this one, it would steal it from this one. It would stick it on this one. It would no longer be on this one. And you have to do that. But there is something... I'm going to talk about that more in depth later on tonight. I'm going to actually do a little test on a live stream for everybody. I'm gonna show how it works out when it comes to multiple Nintendo Switches. I'm going to have 3 of them here. I'm going to try to play a virtual game on one, then the other, and then the last one, and show you guys exactly what I'm getting at when it comes to it. Virtual cards, it's just more of a lockdown from the ninjas. It's just a way for them to control what games you can play on what systems. And it's not very enticing for people who want to have, 3, 4 Nintendo Switches. They got a big family, they got kids and everything, want to share them all between them. It's forcing you to want to buy the game multiple times. And when it comes to paying, $70, $80, $100 for some of these games, multiple times for multiple people to use it, it's not very practical, that's for sure. So, virtual cards, in my opinion, it's bullshit. The Ninja cards. That's funny. But yeah, I gotta get myself ready. I got an air show to attend real soon. I don't want to stick around here too late and end up getting there and not being able to get a good seat and a good view and everything like that. So I'm gonna call it quits for the time being. Got all these devices just sitting around, eh? Shit. It's funny. It's too many. Yeah, that's crazy. But I had to get 2 Nintendo Switches. I couldn't just go with one. I had to have one that's going to stay on a lower firmware and not be updated. But I guess on the plus side, I did get another set of Joy-Cons, which I can use. And I did get a second dock, which I'm going to utilize the second dock. Like, most likely, I'm going to just set up that second dock somewhere else along with the original one I got. So, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I just wanted to answer some questions. I've seen a lot of people on the forums talking about the micro SD card update and if games could be played, Switch 1 games could be played on the Switch 2 without being updated. Some of those questions have been answered here in the live stream. So if people want to reference back to something that's not just a photo, at least you got proof right here, right now. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day.